Hello lads, welcome to Oxygen Not Included. Taking a little break from Battle Brothers, and what better way to do so than with some Oni. Pretty standard, just straight survival on the default starting world on Terra. Like, you try all the other ones, but the thing is, I first want to be able to actually, actually, what is the point of this game anyway? You're supposed to get your guys to survive, and then you launch rockets and get them off the comet. Well, anyway, I'll start using mods once I'm far enough into the game that I feel like I've gotten, to experience everything the game has to offer. I remember playing this game back in early access a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. It was great then, it's even better now. I don't think I'm going to re-roll anybody. And besides, there's actually a great starting roll. All three of them have 3 interests. Cannot do cooking, that's fine. He doesn't have cooking as a ability. Falls asleep practically, that sucks. And can't do cooking. Okay, so we have much of a cook to start with. Name the colony Stobbiestan. And then if you guys want to get involved, I can rename these little nerds after you. Alert! I've awoken at the target location, but colonization efforts have already hit a hitch. I was supposed to land on the planet's surface, but became trapped many miles underground instead. Although the conditions are not ideal, it's imperative that I establish a colony here and begin mounting efforts to escape. Right away, as I like to do in so many of these survival games, is pause and take a look at the biome. Okay, we got loads of water to start with, clean water. And natural stuff growing there. What I like to do generally is I set out in 12 by, so it's 24 tiles wide and 4 tiles high, which is 96 tiles total. Which is big enough to put a great hall there. We're going to go great hall, kitchen, and then 2 growing zones with water beneath it. But that does mean I'm going to have to shift this water around, although that shouldn't be too hard. Directly above, we will have colonist rooms. 2 stacks, maybe even 3 stacks of 4, get up to 12. A little ways across we'll have bathroom, massage clinic, hospital if we need it, and then that sort of space and that sort of space is all open for whatever. Right, let's get cracking. First thing to do is to map out 12 tiles from the center of the printer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So up to that copper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have a ladder down there. That kind of works actually, because I'm going to need to bisect this area here. Eventually this will be half freshwater storage, polluted water storage, but it looks like I'm going to have, I could do 1 giant freshwater storage, but I don't actually need all that much. And maybe keeping the 2 water sources split is actually better in case one of them gets contaminated. Just prioritize here so I can chuck some bathrooms in there. Although technically I might as well actually start building the latrines where the bathrooms are going to be anyway. 2 should do it for now. Actually, wait, let's leave space for... Okay, hang on, because now... Right next to every ladder, there's going to be a fireman's pole going down. So that'll be where the door is, then 2 spaces for a wash basin, toilet, toilet. We 1, 2, 3, 4. And then each little colonist area is 1, 2, 3. Wait, no, that's at least be 4 tiles, not including the doors. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that should leave us with 2 spare. Four. How many colonists do we have? 3. Okay, so 1 room will be smaller than the rest. That's fine. I like having this spacing because if you have a loud sleeper, then they can actually sleep in that one of these squares, and the AoE only reaches like to 1 tile from the other bed. So with this spacing any closer and they'll disturb each other. And we just need to get this outhouse built. This guy's going to start making a mess and peeing pretty soon. Just force them to build the outhouse before they can go to bed. Oxygen already is not looking too bad. They'll just go bonk and then just fall asleep. Lol. Good, good. Keep digging. Good little duplicants. We'll put some power here and research there. The placement of the power here will just be short term until eventually, like, there's this one central column and then there'll be another bit of buildings there, like utility rooms and whatnot, and then power generation with the coal generators will be there. Coal generators with a catchment area for CO2 for growing mushrooms, other plants that need CO2. Let's quickly tap into one of these water sources, I think, as a priority. And the beds need to be built. That's got to be a priority. I love this game. It's so chilled. Although saying that, in one of my offline colonies that I was playing earlier this morning, I found a geyser. I was like, awesome, what's this geyser? Molten gold. It was just spewing up gold. I thought, hell yeah, and I've got a free source of refined metals. But it's not quite that simple, because what happened was this molten gold geyser pumps out molten gold at like 2,000 degrees. So it makes it, obviously, as you can imagine, insanely hot in the surrounding area. And then the result was no fewer than 4 of my colonists got cooked to death. Was not good. But everybody's got a bed, got toilets. I'll be washing their hands quite soon. Progress. Right, so natural growing zone, natural growing zone. I want to tap in down here because there's lots of natural growing areas here. What's up, Spitz? Now, I did try to recreate a pincher peppermint and balm lily growing area, but it was very difficult because even though I put it in the middle of the warm biome, it kept cooling down. So I had to keep heating it up with a space heater, which was very inefficient. So I think for the most part, when it comes to those sorts of resources, I'm just going to actually try to build my growing zones inside the natural biome. Can I rename these colonists now already? I can. Right. Spits and pills. You're in. Oh shit! Emergency! Emergency! Put ourselves. I'm ass drowning. Quickly! Quickly! She's drowning! Oh, no, don't tell me that's inaccessible. It's similar to RimWorld in that it's colony management, but there's not really combat against enemies, so it's nominally similar in that it's only similar in the fact that it's colony management. Bubbles. Cool, that was close. 5 minutes in, almost our first death. How's the oxygen? It's looking okay. Then around here we'll probably do storage, mass storage. That's the Great Hall. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be the kitchen. Nice, we got our first new duplicant. Just in terms of jobs, what do we have covered? Hang on, let's look at the skills real quick. Okay, so digging, farming, decorating is covered. Digging and farming, tidying. Research is covered and supplying, that's important. We need a cook though. Ideally we need a cook, and what else do we not have? A doctor. Cook or a doctor is what we need, and of course supplying and tidying is always useful. Researching. Decreased germ resistance is a bad one. Decreased air consumption, that's nice. That'll do. Bert, welcome. Well, this is kind of that. It's kind of casual. But like when it comes to the gas management, it can actually get pretty technical. Bert, what are you good at? I think you're going to be our researcher. You guys only need to be washing your hands when going from right to left. Good. Go to the toilet, wash your hands. Food source, we're doing okay. Oxygen's still fine. But what's disturbing your sleep? Oh, it's these little shine bugs. It's going to take forever until we can actually capture them and get them into the growing zone. I never got into World of Warcraft. I'm so glad I never got into WoW. I just couldn't believe that you actually have to keep paying every month just for the privilege of to keep playing the game. I always thought that was strange, to say the least. Very unusual that we can find any geezers this close in the biome, but it's worth taking a look. Oh, there we go. A natural gas geyser. Oh, that is amazing. That's pretty much infinite power. Fuck yes. Spits you full. 2,000 euros into WoW. I quite enjoyed Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. But MMORPGs are not really my jam. Which I'm so grateful for, because as you can say, hell of a time sink that. I mean, this is a time sink, but not nowhere near like that game is. Love the little sounds they make. Woo woo! Let's not bother going down further than that. Good, so we've got a nice source of natural food being grown here. We build an airlock that we can actually harvest all this stuff and just try to keep the gas as it is. The hydrogen will rise, the chlorine will sink. I'll put the airlock probably just level with that. That should actually be fine. Put in two air pressure doors there. And that'll give us access to balm lily. Pinch of peppermint. Actually, I need to drain this water away. I need this space here. Well, RimWorld is friggin' great, isn't it? I need to try another playthrough again. The last one we had ended horribly. That's part of the adventure. I was so disappointed to hear that Phoenix Point has been delayed again. I actually took time off first 2 weeks of September to be able to play it. And then they go and delay the release of the game. Love RimWorld. Great game. Okay, research. What do I want first? I actually want that little fire pole, but that's too long to go straight. Let's just go straight for a water cooler. Because I already have the Great Hall here. And I find having the Great Hall right from the start, giving them a recreation area, helps with morale. We'll have the water cooler, we'll have the espresso machine, a bunch of tables for them to eat at, a fridge there with food in. And then oxygen diffusers, we'll have 2 at some point. One on the western wing and one on the eastern wing. Oxygen's still fine, as long as it's this light blue. Once it starts going darker, and the oxygen saturation is over 1,000 grams. Once it drops to like 600, well, it can just scramble to make an oxygen diffuser. Just have a think about how we're gonna control the water here. 1, 2. That's one room. That's another room. And this level is going to be plant growing. Underneath here, we will have water storage at this level, so I'm going to have to dig down. That's probably too much water storage. And the first one doesn't have to be massive, although that's probably not enough. Measure down from the middle. That should be even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so dirty water, clean water. And I might even make that sort of size. I don't think it needs a second level. But what the hell, just for safety. I know that if I use a air permeable tile, it's got a stronger strength. That's not necessary. This is what we're going to do. Like that. Dig all the way down. But just think for a second. I think water storage is actually what I want to get sorted right now. That is generally a priority because getting pumping water through to the bathrooms is actually pretty important. And we'll get one more cot so we can have 5 colonists, and then I think more than 5 at this early stage is probably too risky. We'll have to see where the water level goes first, but yeah. And later on, once this water level gets low, we can actually reach that and have it flow into this water container. Got so much clean water, it's brilliant. That's nice because that can be tapped and it can flow. We can rig it so it flows straight into dirty water, polluted water containment. I can't wait to have unlimited natural gas. That's going to be so good. Skills, bubbles. Digging. Bits and pills. Honestly, digging is the most important thing right now. And building for you, Hassan. What are you guys busy with? Okay, good. Finish that. Then they're going to focus on cleaning out water storage. Well, actually, the Battle Brothers, we've gotten to a watershed moment. In the last episode, episode 75, we hit day 365. We've done all 3 late game crises, and the only thing that's left to do is all the super late game content. You know, the Kraken, the Lee Rock, the Goblin and Orc cities, all that stuff. But I put the question to a vote with the rest of the viewers as to whether we keep on going, we keep grinding, or do we retire the 13th Legion and start another playthrough. And the consensus seems retire the 13th Legion. I can still keep playing them offline, and then I'll just upload those major battles up to YouTube separately. Which I kind of like the idea of that, because if we keep playing with the 13th Legion as they are now, what's going to happen is, because of the background, because we don't have... Hang on, where's achievements? Because we don't have access to the high tier backgrounds, it's going to be such a slog. Because what we're looking at now with the 13th Legion is a situation where we're just going to have to hire and fire, I'm not kidding, hundreds of brothers. Hundreds. To find the guys. I mean, like, at this point, if I want brothers... Oh, shit! Fucked it up. I was saying, if I want brothers who are skilled enough to do that super late game stuff, like I said, we're going to have to hire and fire hundreds of guys. And that's just going to take so long. It's going to take another 2 years of in-game time and like another 75 episodes. It's just going to take too long. Damn it, I didn't think about that. Silly. We shouldn't have spilled too much water, and then we can actually just carve that out and mop it up. In terms of which of the backgrounds we're going to try, I'm not sure. We still need a cook, if memory serves. Tidying, supplying. Nope. We need the curative tablets. Yeah, it is. It's just grinding. The thing is, we're firmly in the grinding phase now with the 13th Legion, which honestly isn't always that entertaining. Look at all this water I spilt. Damn it! I'm actually gonna have to install a pump there and pump that. Nice. Look at this biome right here. There's loads of access to pincher and balm lily. If I could just tap this biome correctly. I think we'll make one entrance over here so we can access this area. And then we'll have a carefully airtight area here with a shaft going down. Tap this one here, we can have access to these 3 little areas here. 4 areas here. Duplicants have hypothermia, which is annoying, but it's not that bad. And once they finish digging out all the water, they'll stop getting wet, they'll stop getting hypothermia. Such a pity that I screwed up that water containment there. I should have known, like, if a diagonal like that, it'll break through. Good work, lads. Mop up here, because every time they walk over it, they get soggy feet. Morale debuff. It's doubly annoying that I screwed that up, because now they're going to have to keep going in there to pick up all this stuff, to sweep all that stuff. They're going to have to keep getting wet. Oxygen, fine. 35,000 calories, we've got plenty. Researching, maybe let's just quickly chuck down basic farming. I can just get some mealworm going, meal lice going. Are you guys stuck? You are stuck. If you dig that, you should actually fall down and then be able to walk there. No, can't you walk along there? What? Lol. Don't tell me her son is stuck there. Surely you can jump up there and go across. Yeah, good lad. We're almost done here with the clean water storage. Gah, appointment. Shall we prepare for having to pump that? That's going to be the first pump we're going to have down here. Liquid pump, just pump it over this wall. You get some fertilization, a little fertilizer room going as well, but then again it's going to be mess hall, cooking, growing. We can maybe put like a little chamber in the middle where we can do composting. What's up, Duck Yours? Welcome, buddy. Shh. Only a model. Hey, compost, planter box, algae terrariums. Like in the past, I've experimented with chucking algae terrariums in these lower areas that are very carbon dioxide saturated. But I find it's actually not worth it because they output polluted oxygen and then you have to use a deodorizer. No worries, Duck Yours. We had a great session even without you. We really needed you. Because your character can read Dwarven, and like 5 minutes in, we immediately encountered Dwarven runes. Would have been great to have been able to read that. I'll try to remember how I actually build this place here. I think, if memory serves, you only need 2 squares to put storage bins, and with this spacing, there's a certain amount of 2-level bins you can do. There you go, where it actually gets you level with the rest. But hang on, so if I intend for this to be like a latrine or a washroom, it needs to be maximum size 64 tiles. So 64, it can't be more than 12 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, good. Perfect. That's exactly the right size. I think if I build like this here, I'm actually going to have to tap that just to make this water go down. By building this, it's going to cause issues. Other research that is super important right now, liquid pumping. Oxygen, still fine. Food, kind of still okay. Maybe I can step down some planter boxes here for some meal lice. But I do want to put them in on farm tiles though, so they can grow a little bit faster. After plumbing, we can do meal prep farm tile. Some planning here because I don't need that there. Oh, Spitz! Oh, you're almost going to fall quite far. I don't know if your duplicants can fall to their death, but I imagine if you just fell there, you would have done like a high dive into the water. I think. That's alright. Luckily, we have this 8'6" Minotaur who's our scout. Interesting. Storage. Look at how much progress the lads have made in only 9 cycles. Excellent. Vent straight there. Power lines are almost built. I think we can hook it up straight away. It's not a whole lot of water to pump. I need to think about oxygen. I might actually finish digging that out and just tuck the diffuser there, and it should permeate through the whole right side of the base. In fact, I think that's probably what I need to do. A pump, a diffuser, and the research station is probably a bit much for only one manual generator. Why don't we cut this up and do another one here? Generator, that is. That'll be better. That'll be fireman's pole. Not an ideal place to put power generation for the right-hand side of the base for the moment, because it's not going to have much oxygen. But it'll have to do. Eventually we'll upgrade that to a coal generator. Yeah, keeping the oxygen levels right can be a challenge. But what I find useful is to keep the organic tab open and just keep an eye on your algae. What were we missing? We were missing a cook, I think. Need a chef. Farming, decorating, operating, decorating, farming, tidying. Pips, I don't need pips. They subsist on branches of arbor trees. I don't have an. If I plant some arbor trees, we'll get some pips in. Both of these have bad negative traits. We'll just take the sand. I want to get this plumbing done. It's so inefficient how they have to spend time cleaning these outhouses. We have how many lads? 4. Espresso machine goes there. Decorative item there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. We'll put 2 refrigerators there. And 6 mess tables there, another 6 there, for 12 in total. I don't see myself having more than 12 duplicants anytime soon. Okay. This is going to be... We need to get some lice loaf going. Just plan this out a little bit. I want a little composting area in the middle. How about that size? That's 2 off that side there. That's too big. This just needs to be 5 across. Or 4 actually, you know. 1 composter, 1 deodorizer, 1 storage. That'll do. Then we can go farm tiles. Yeah, mealworm in there. Bristleberry that side. Fertilizer will be kept in here, composted here. That pump will start flowing soon. I think once I get my meal lice growing here, once that's all going, then we can finish the storage and just do the big sweepening and sweep everything up. That normally takes a couple cycles. Everyone focuses on nothing but sweeping. I need those deodorizers. There's polluted oxygen all over the place. I think for deodorizers you need advanced research. Yeah. In that case, let's go straight for... That'll have to wait for the moment. Is there anything else early on that I need desperately? Jumbo batteries, maybe. Apothecary, no, none of that. Sanitation, not yet. The toilets are useful, but not actually immediately, because with the toilets... Let's skip interior decor. I like that they are continuing to produce polluted dirt for the moment, which we'll use to turn into fertilizer. I think let's have them finish building that. Polluted water, we don't need access to polluted water just yet. Once we start growing thimble reeds, we'll need polluted water, but until then we don't need polluted water. Oh yeah, and the diffuser needs to happen actually as a priority. But for that we need power. That needs to be excavated. Right, good lads. Oh, polluted oxygen. It's going to suck for whoever has to run that generator. The 60 plus 120 is 180. And this is running just 120. So I think actually we'll put the research station... That's fine on that grid. But eventually we'll split the grids to left and right. And eventually like top right and bottom right and so on and so forth. 4 separate grids. I'll turn that into a farm tile once I've deodorized that polluted oxygen away. Ooh. Buddy bud seed. I wonder if any of my duplicants, I wonder if they have allergies. I hope not. I'll need ceiling lights here eventually when it comes to grow these bristleberries. That goes 1, 2, so 3 off below it. Good. So that'll be enough light for the bristleberries that are there. Let's prioritize growing of the mealwood. I think I'm going to bother with the lamps. I mean, I always thought that these lamps drew more power than was needed. Eventually we will light the entire base, but that's once we've tapped into this natural gas geyser. Sufficient, you need water. That's right. In the meantime, pump water from there. It should work. I think if they submerged in water, it should still work. We got an achievement. Cure a sick duplicant. And what was the other one? Construct a building outside the initial starting biome. Oh, skills. Bert. Keep going into field researching, yeah. Good. Is that pump working? It is. Nice. If any of the colonists have allergies, I'm gonna have to pull up this buddy bud. I think the buddy bud gives better decor than the briar. But the buddy bud can affect allergies. Anybody sick? Nope. Actually, I shouldn't have put this here because eventually I'll need to put the farming station, and I wanted to buff both these growing zones. I think we'll move composting maybe to down here. It's, in theory, it depends what you do with it. If you are using your fresh water with a hydrogen oxalator, you turn the water into hydrogen and something else, and CO2, I think. But there's a bunch of processes where you can turn clean water into dirty water and vice versa. So, although technically it is endless, if you just got to find a steam vent. If you find a steam vent that just keeps pumping out super hot water, you tap the steam vent for power, and you cool the steam off, and it gives you water. Yeah, we want all compostables. Where's fertilizer? No organic or agriculture. Like this will be general storage, and then there will be other specific storage areas depending on what's being done there. Oxygen, it'll start getting better as this little diffuser starts doing its thing. A lot of polluted oxygen. We need to get to filtration really quick. Advanced research, let's get that going. So I need the tiles, the air permeable tiles, to put them here. For ventilation purposes, of course. Give us a cook. Farming, suit wearing. Nope. Ooh, arbor acorn. Great. Eventually, once we move off of mealwood as a food source, then we'll put arbor trees here that'll produce wood for us. Out of power. craft the world. As soon as you said dwarves, I thought dwarf fortress. And from what little I've seen of dwarf fortress, that just seems way too hectic for me. One of you lads needs to prioritize operating. Let's say one of the miners, spits and pills. Prioritize operating. That should send him to the manual generator. Good lad. Let's sweep up this algae, and because it's creating polluted oxygen. I want all the algae stored in this little bin here. Or in any bin that's next to a deodorizer. I can't play something that has that visual outlay. I can't play something that looks like that. Far too much of a graphics snob. I want to free up this puffed? I mean, maybe. Yeah, snobby, lol. Come on, lads, finish building here. Move on to the next thing. Okay, my researcher needs to focus on researching. Oxygen looks pretty bad, actually. Max gas pressure. No, it's not a max gas pressure. If we really have to, we might have to put another one over here somewhere. Well, once we install a CO2 scrubber here in the water storage, that'll help the pressure. But no, we'll be fine. If they really get into oxygen trouble, they can just run down here and breathe there. We'll be fine. Skill point. Supplying is pretty good. Carry capacity is going to help. Besides, everybody will eventually need supplying too, so everyone will need exosuit training. Already we got 4 duplicants, a 5th will become our chef, and then we need 2 guys who can just be dedicated cleaner uppers. Just like in RimWorld, you know, hauling, keeping things around. A constant challenge. Oh, skill points. I think all you lads should take a point in hauling. I mean, eventually, Spitz, you can be our farmer as well, but let's just increase the supplying. It's going to help us move everything around really quick. We're going to rush those deodorizers though. As soon as I can get a deodorizer, we'll chuck one down there, there, and polluted oxygen all over the place. I think I want this supercomputer to be on the Western power grid. Good. Where is it? Air deodorant. There we go. Decontamination. Super important. So one of our lads has slime lung. I want to get on top of this germs, but I felt like the very best way to stop everyone getting slime lung and food poisoning by cleaning up all the polluted oxygen. It's the polluted oxygen generally that causes the issue. So currently this here is only power-wise, is only feeding the oxygen diffuser, so I think we can actually chuck down a grill. No, microbe musher to make lice loaf. Here's the kitchen this side, so... Bam! Food will go there. This oxygen diffuser needs to be a super high priority. I didn't realize we were going through the oxygen as quickly as we were. This pump still not going. That pump going. I might even put a second diffuser in here just to pump oxygen, just to, you know, over max the oxygen, and again, I can always turn the other pump off. Problem is now they're all taking stress from low oxygen. Oh boy, no. Look at this polluted oxygen. Disgusting. Ventilation is fine. Nice, meal lice. Good. The fact that it's in an area with polluted oxygen is very bad, though. Gonna make all of our colonists sick. Actually, I tend to put the outhouses on priority 9 as well. Just get them cleaned out, because like once the toilets are full and there's nowhere for them to go, they'll just start, you know, making a mess all over the base. And then the worst is, like, if they make a mess here, it'll contaminate the clean water. Speaking of clean water, is that it? I don't think so. I think there's one more. I think I'll put in mesh tiles here, just in case there's any liquids that go in there that I don't want. One more technology and we can get these air purifiers in. Actually going to raise that up one tile. I think the water cooler was a good idea pretty early on. It's had a little bit of extra boost for the morale. I don't think it counts as a mess hall yet. Missing it. If I just put a decor item in there, it'll become a growth hall. Literally one plant pot should turn it into a great hall and give them morale buff. It has to do plus 20 decor, which the flower pot wouldn't do. Okay, we'll put in a sculpture or a painting or something. Farming, researching, supplying, decorating, tidying. Nope. Need that chef though. I suppose if the next few duplicants that come along don't have cooking, as long as they have tidying, I probably should have taken the one with tidying. There's literally tons of stuff lying around the base that we've got to move. Oxygen. It shouldn't be saying max air pressure. I think it's because it's so tightly enclosed. That shouldn't be necessary though. Putting that second oxygen diffuser. Ah, whatever. Whenever you see little blips of this, that's polluted oxygen being released into the atmosphere. Probably from that polluted dirt. Which is why I want all the polluted dirt in one area where I can put a deodorizer next to it. Storage, almost finished. Excellent. The oxygen is spreading. Good. Food is decayed is unfortunate. It's just a meal lice. Rotten rot pile. Yep, that can be stored in there. I definitely need to move the composting area. Needs more space. Where shall we put it? Power, it's looking fine. Ah, hello. Wire. Bolt. Another little sleeping animation. It's adorable. Good, that's done, so I should be building the ration box soon. And this type of stuff here. Excellent, we have water pumping. It'll get pumped in no time. At a certain point, once I get this done, I can actually set lice loaf to forever. Well, once I have a chef, then once I produce enough lice loaf, I can stop the colonists from eating raw food and they can eat just produced lice loaf. Do the same thing for the bristleberries as well. How much decor is the briar giving? 25. Okay, good. So that should count. Nice. Great hall complete. Bathrooms is the next thing we could do. Washroom. So flush toilet. Okay, so toilet, wash station. It's a small little movement efficiency just by having all of these doors stay open. I don't think there's actually a kitchen type area that gives you a buff. What's there? Barracks, washroom, hospital, greenhouse, rec room. You know what, I think I might actually close this off here. We can have that be... Let's just experiment here. Put a door in there. See if we can turn that into a rec room and a great hall. Or a mess hall. For a rec room we need decor and recreational building. What counts as a... Two plant pots in there, so the 2 plant pots should cover the decor items. No industrial, recreation building. I wonder if a water cooler qualifies as a recreational building. We have to try. Yeah, try the water cooler. Good, and with 2 diffusers running now, should have plenty of oxygen. Actually, cleaning up this polluted oxygen is going to lower the overall pressure, which will make more clean oxygen flow, making these diffusers even, oh, sorry, the not diffusers, purifiers, even more important. Yeah, Bert, your research is super important. Purifier, purifier. Polluted oxygen over here, purifier there as well. What'll also help is putting in mesh tiles all the way along here, so the CO2 will just fall down to the bottom. What are you lads actually got given buildings? Spits and pills? What's your priority? Operating. Okay, so bubbles then. You can focus on building. If there's no digging to do. I also think that if I tell them to dig here, this might actually lower the pressure as well, and let the diffusers run more. Surely I've got more mealwood seeds here. That's weird. I've never seen a security door just, you know, keeping nothing locked behind it. Weird one. Trying to see if I can maybe spot any other geezers. Muckroot. We're subsisting mostly on muckroot now. Actually, I need this mealwood to start growing quicker. Right. Be my chef. Tidying, operating, building, cooking, and farming. Awesome. Ashkan, welcome. Ashkan, you're the cook, my man. Welcome. There's cooking. Hey, finally. These deodorizers are super important. Quickly, prioritize. I'll even keep them at an 8, even when they're built. The sooner we can pick up this, clean up this polluted oxygen, the better. Because currently all the meal lice that's growing here is dropping into a polluted area, putting germs on them. Actually, I should put a wash basin here in the kitchen. Good. And as we can see now, both diffusers should start running. In fact, it's probably a good time to do some cleaning up, do some disinfecting. Oof. Why is that red? This base is filthy. Now research focus selected disinfect errand. I don't think we need to make mush bars. 12,000 calories. If we drop down to emergency levels, we can do that though. Look at that. Cleaned up very, very quickly. Excellent. Polluted oxygen. All over the place still. Very low oxygen levels there. You can think about running that carbon dioxide skimmer pretty soon. Let's get mesh tiles and just open up the airflow around the whole base. I think once I've got both my water storage areas set up and I've got these mealwoods growing, then we can do the sweepening where we can just sweep the entire base. Gotta pick the right time to do it. I gotta make sure I'm on top of the oxygen generation. Like, it's tempting to open this up, to tap this, because then that's a lot of oxygen that'll flow in, but it is very toxic though, is the problem. And if the duplicants start starving, we can always kill these hatches, turn them into barbecue. Power is an issue. If I build more colonists, maybe we build 2 more rooms, which will then allow us to get some guys who can just focus on tidying and operating. Because I feel like what I need is duplicants who just focus on who their full-time job is to sweep up and to run the generators. I think that's a good idea, actually. Let's do that. There's people needed to flick switches and do stuff like that as well. Search complete. Good, so now that CO2 should start falling. Food shortage? Nah, we're fine. I wonder if I don't just put a carbon dioxide scrubber here and just scrub all this carbon dioxide before filling it up with water. Oh, let's do that. But now it's going to need... it's going to produce dirty water, which we can chuck into there, I suppose. And just pump it back in here once this is, you know, free of carbon dioxide and polluted water. Come on, I've got 2 diffusers. There should be plenty of oxygen being pumped out. I think it's the pressure that's the problem, though. I was just going to say, if we dip below 2,000 calories, it's like emergency food time, but we're good. Got meal lice. Actually gonna have to dig in there. I really want to focus on completing whatever rooms I can to get the morale bonuses. I should actually be digging like hell, because as soon as, well, the more I dig out, the less the overall pressure should drop, and then the diffuser should be able to pump out more oxygen, which will increase the overall oxygen numbers, which is a bit of a problem for us right now. I'll do stuff like this. Should lower the overall pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then space for ladder, space for fireman's pole. Nice. That'll work. And already the oxygen is looking better. This is eventually, it's going to take a while, but it's going to creep all the way through the rest of the base. And you know what? Why don't we prioritize the production of these mesh tiles? I really want those mesh tiles in the bedroom so that the CO2 that they are releasing when they breathe there, that CO2 will stop gathering in their room. That's the idea, at least. But speaking of priorities, let's just focus cleaning all these germs. Excellent. Okay, we've got most of our skills covered. Ashkan, you're our cook and our farmer. Bert, researcher and animal rancher, but we're not going to need animal ranching for a long time. Hassan, supplier and builder. Spitz, digger, farmer. Tidier upper, or plumber eventually. Bubbles, decorator, farmer, digger. I just need tidying and supplying is what I need from the next two printables. Branching, tidying and operating. Can't do digging. The oxyfern is so good. It consumes CO2 and releases oxygen. To one oxyfern though. I really want the tidying up guy. Rowan will be our plumber. Oh wait, hang on. Rowan is our tidier upper. Such a cute little splat noise when he puts the hat on. Splat. Building entombment. Let's see. Latrine bonus. Good. So for a great hall. 92 tiles. Plus 20 decor is what's missing here. It's because that plant keeps dying. See, already all that CO2 that was sitting in their rooms has dropped down. We're going to keep seeing here this red here, the CO2. It's eventually going to fall all the way down, and then we'll scrub it away. Don't need that pipe anymore. Priority-wise, let's get that deodorizer going. It's a lot of polluted oxygen. That's a lot of germs. 13,000. Oof. Bert, skill point. I think let's start giving supplying to almost everybody. It's just going to help when it's time to do all the sweeping. The food shortage we're really going to be able to tackle once I get irrigated growing here with bristleberries. But for that we're going to need a liquid pump here, pumping water into these. These are going to be growing areas here. Researching anything right now? No. All this oxygen has crept through in the last day. Excellent. That CO2 is going to be harder to get rid of. I might have to reconstruct the scrubber over there. But generally, like when I have water storage like this, it tends to have water with CO2 sitting on top of it, but that's fine. Oh, I think the colony looks good. Just the lack of food is an issue. We could go digging for muckroot. These little areas here. When I figured out that if the tile has these little crack marks in it, that means there's something buried there. That's quite likely to be muckroot. I had to move composting. Where am I going to put the composting area? I was going to say here, but there's water storage there. Like over here could be fine. I'm not going to be using this area anytime soon. That's quite far from where it needs to be. But does it though? Because it's... What plants actually need fertilizer? The bristleberries, maybe. Somebody please dig that. The priority. Oxygen is only 123 grams, barely breathable. Zero calories. Shit. I think it's time to slaughter these hatches and eat the meat. Get him, lads! That's almost 10,000 calories right there of meat. Now, you're gonna have to eat it raw, but at least it'll stop them from starving. So, fungal spore, good. Those are the fungal spores we'll need to get our mushroom farm going. You know, forget the scrubber. Let's get the water flowing in there. Oh, Spit's good to know the gameplay puts you to sleep. That's always what a streamer wants to hear. How's that research coming along? Ah, see, so it becomes a great hall as that plant is alive. Now the big question is, once this door is completed, will this become a rec room? Aha! Rec room and mess hall. Skill point. San. What does he actually need improved construction for? I think it's for building particular buildings. Just go for supplying, just to keep on increasing that carry capacity. Oh, we got an achievement. The duplicant skill points to buy out an entire branch of the skill tree. Hell yeah. Nice, look at that polluted oxygen getting cleaned up. I hope this polluted oxygen will actually fall down though. I don't have to rebuild the deodorizer there. This will become 6 bristleberries, or gristleberries, isn't they called? Gristleberries. Actually, all of this can be taken away. Liquid pipes. For the sake of neatness, we'll run it through the floor. I think that's enough research done for the moment, actually. Fertilizer synthesizer we don't need. I should chuck down a few park signs. See, that this will become a greenhouse, but I've got to move that composting area. Actually, no, the next research I want to make fireman poles. It's actually quite a value-added prospect. It gets your little duplicates moving around the base quite quick. Yeah. Fire pole. Oh, come on, guys! You need to clean these toilets. I think the sooner I get this pump going, the better. And we're gonna have to make another power grid here. There's too much power getting pulled now. So if this grid will run I think just the pipe. This one needs to run, well, even just the research on that one there is maybe enough. So if I cut it off there, then this one can run all of that. It'll be 120, 240, and 220s. Well, Spits and Pills, your wife tells you that in IRL, and I'm telling you here. Clean that damn toilet. I think it's time to do, not the full sweepening, but at least let's sweep up here. And kill that hatch. Oh, more skill points. Bubbles. Super hard digging? I think so. Go super hard. We'll need it at some point once we're digging through this abyssalite. Other stuff like that. I think once this little growing zone is done here, then our calorie issues will be well and truly sorted. Rock crusher and the kiln I've never really found much use for. Park sign, where should we declare a national park? Kinda can't really, there's no way that we can make it national park for the moment. I wonder if that water, that's going to make this overflow, I think. More likely I should put a pump in there and pump all of that in here, free up this space. Okay, give me one more person who's a tidier. Decreased strength on a tidier is terrible. I'll take the coal. Doctoring, suit wearing, researching. Irritable bowel is terrible. Open all the doors. Nice, and a skill point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have one more duplicant, and then we'll stop getting duplicants for the moment. Spits, supplying, farming, digging. Making these priority 9. I want to get this damn disinfection done. I think that's the last of the disinfection. Oxygen is not sorted. Diluted oxygen, regular oxygen. We'll get there. We'll get there. Morgan for me, you sound like a bot. Let me guess, the next message will be, there we go, streams like, there we go, are amazing. I'm about to do overlay, panels, offline screen. Lovely. Nice, so once this is all fully swept up, then we can get some polluted water in there. What is that? Slime, storage unavailable. Oh, right, because the container is full. Not for long. Yeah, should be like, hello, fellow human. Your stream is excellent, especially for a fellow human. I am totally a human. Yeah, so how much polluted oxygen? This is mostly just carbon dioxide now. I think this deodorizer can be removed now. It can. The base is looking neater already. This is almost fully swept up. We'll get all of that swept up eventually. Power grid looking. Food poisoning from germ-covered muckroot. Well, we're a little ways away from getting off our muckroot dependency. Mealwood is at least growing fairly well, and that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mealwood, which is plenty. Eventually we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gristleberries, plus another 8, 14 gristleberries, 16 gristleberries. Growing together at the same time should be more than enough. Nice, now we can install our fire poles, which will introduce a nice little movement efficiency into the base. We out of copper? Oh. Also, I have to admit, I just love watching them slide down the fireman poles. Quite entertaining. Let's fix this power grid. Let's get the gristleberries going, and then we'll do the plumbed bathroom. Much copper do we have? Only 1,000, not even that much. Okay, we need to go on a copper hunt. Actually, not all that much. I mean, there's gold there. Ah, here we go. Here's the copper mother lode. That should all be accessible. Good. That ought to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. I kind of got myself into the habit of building floors like this if I'm mining out a large area, so you can access all the stuff you want to mine. I believe so. It's similar to RimWorld, where you need to push all the way through to the surface, which is like all the way up here, and colonize the surface, and then I think you need to build a rocket. Hang on, so it's under achievements. Where's the achievements tab? Schedule, skills, research. Next time I get an achievement, I'll show you. There was actually a list. You need to build like a giant monument and reach the surface, and I think build a rocket and get off the asteroid. You're on an asteroid. Okay, so we've got enough lice loaf now that I think we can actually stop everybody from eating raw meal lice. Nutrient bar, raw meat if you have to. Ice loaf, fine. Raw mushrooms we shouldn't have to eat. Fry those up at some point. Always rockets, indeed. This is interesting. Temp shift plate. Accelerates or buffers heat dispersal based on the construction material used. Has a smaller effect. Thermal properties of construction materials determine the heat retention. Okay. Copper. Sandstone coal does nothing. Dirt. Slow to overheat. Overheat temperature -10. Igneous rock. Overheat +10. Overheat 15. Thermally reactive. So I think that would work. Like if I wanted to make a hot room, I would put it around my, or use that temp shift around the geyser, and the geyser becomes so hot, and then that can make a room that's quite hot. I think. Oh yes, colony summary. Here we go. Here's the goals. I think I saw it here. Oh yes, the Great Escape. Current colony hasn't fulfilled the initiative. Home sweet home. It's along that. It's hidden here in the achievements, I think. Block a meteor. Have auto sweepers. 10 tons of refined metal. There's lots to do. Right, new printable. Decorating and building, doctoring and suit wearing, branching. No, don't need any of this. You can absolutely sink loads of hours into this game. So like my oxygen diffusers aren't running because we are waiting for someone to deliver algae. And the priorities aren't exactly right. I think actually for Rowan, he's got a bed, surely. Rowan's got a bed. Why has he got a sawback? Anyway. So Rowan, you should focus on supplying. Life support supply, farming supply, cook supply. Right, life support, algae terrariums. Yes, that's most important. Tidying is second most important. So he'll keep the diffusers running as his first priority, and then he'll sweep up as his second priority. Speaking of priorities, let's get this built. Once that's built, then I can demolish that. Games Croatia, thanks for the chat. Why is growth halted here? Or because of lack of air quality? This mopping needs to be done as a priority. Stop getting that soggy feet debuff. There we go. Both diffusers are running. Nice. That's what I want to see. Let's see, 12,000 calories of lice loaf. That's pretty good. Anything research-wise that I want to do desperately, urgently? Apothecary, maybe, but people aren't really getting that sick. Power regulation is always good. Next, that's going to be one of my big priorities, is getting off of manual generation and going on to coal. Let's get the research done in the meantime. I'll need to finish building this into a CO2 catchment area. And I can probably do the same over here. It'll be here technically. I think my two guys who are miners can actually... Have they got building skill? Because I think Spits and Pills, you've got supplying and digging. Bubbles. Oh, Hassan is the dedicated builder. Okay, we'll put his priority onto building. Ashcan, be the chef. Hassan, where's constructing, building? Good, so this sort of stuff should get built now. Still struggling to stamp out all the polluted oxygen though. Some there. There is a deodorizer in that area though. Glad to see the bedrooms aren't struggling with polluted oxygen anymore. I want the whole base to be this light blue color. We'll get there. We will make a little CO2 coal burner and mushroom growing area, but first I want to get all these poles built. The second or third power grid needs to be built as well. Then once I have a deodorizer, I tend to leave it where it is in an area, but if the area has no polluted oxygen, I'll just disable it. Because your little duplicants are still running around and refilling it occasionally, which, you know, costs time and effort. That's wash basin, that's, well, as long as I sweep that polluted dirt, then it should stop creating polluted oxygen there. You'll notice we're kind of on top of the slime lung. Only one person has slime lung. Anyway, morale should be good. We've got ourselves rec room and a great hall and latrines, individual barracks. Kind of wish I'd gone one block over with all of this. I could have made that. Or oh well. If any of our duplicants are uncultured, we can chuck them in the small room. In fact, I think we actually have an uncultured guy. Night owl, binge eater. Actually, you know what? Bubbles is a night owl. Let's schedule Bubbles onto a night owl shift. Okay, so we'll put bedtime. How does this work? Middle of the day bedtime, bath time, as soon as you wake up, then 2 hours of downtime right before. Spits and pills, narcoleptic, uncultured. Okay, so spits and pills, we'll put you in the smaller room. Just looking for any other night owls. Another uncultured. Bert. Okay. That's looking better. I think we were gonna break the power grids here. That'll be one grid, that'll be another grid. Yes, then this one will run just the research stations. This one will run just that oxidizer, then this one will run oxidizer plus pump. Oh, good. We've almost got the ability here to grow our, here we go, blossom seeds. In fact, I don't need this many mesh tiles. We have just the one mesh tile in the middle there. Nice, that'll do. We just need to get the pump running and these lights turned on. Excellent. Progress. Oh, hang on. These are unreachable, aren't they? Okay. That ought to do it. I think that has done it. Excellent, excellent. Okay. So, I need a dedicated farmer at this point, I think. Farm station. Right there. And we can even put one of these here. With all the plant seeds will be kept here centrally. New printables. Coal or sandstone? I'm going to take the coal. Excellent. Food shortage won't be for too much longer. Once I get the farm station and the bristleberries grown here, the farm station is going to make all of this stuff grow so much faster. Who actually is our farmer? Bubbles. We could probably switch Bubbles over to farming. Or Spits and Pills. Either of Bubbles or Spits and Pills. Ashcan, being a cook, isn't an ideal farmer because he needs to, spend his time cooking rather than... I don't know who to make the cook. Rowan, our tidying up person. I shouldn't need access to plumbing at any point soon, so let's go supplying for increased carry capacity. Spits and Pills can be our farmer. At your next skill point. Actually, no, let's make Ashcan the farmer. Yeah, he can do the farming and then just go one level higher to do the cooking. Spits and Pills can be a digger and a tidier upper. Bubbles will be a digger. You guys will love farming. Right, no shortage of farmers. Excellent, and the fireman's poles are all built. Water is flowing. It's almost time for our farming to kick into high gear. I think after the farming is sorted and we get the bathrooms with running water, plumbing going, then we can move off of the manual generators. We can go for coal power. Anyway, that's a 2-hour session. I'll take a little break there. I need a break for dinner when I come back. Keep trying to make progress.